Alright, what's going on, guys? What's it called? Since my connection is ass and I can't really stream, I'm gonna give you guys some trade recap and a little like education. I'm sure Blake will do regular charting session and stuff, but I'll sauce you up on the two, I guess, solid trades that I caught this week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were pretty dry. Thursday and Friday had some good setups. So let's go over those. So just going into Thursday morning, we had 10 a.m. news, so we had to wait for that. But before going to that, right, let's get into a basic analysis. So we know that we had left like relatively equal lows at London, but we also had an unfilled 4-hour above right here. So just the fact that we left those relatively equal lows and we're displacing above it, probably we were not going to go back down to that until we hit that 4-hour unfilled gap. And so just basic analysis going into Thursday morning, I can see that we're respecting bullish PD arrays and so far disrespecting bearish PD arrays, right? We're trending higher, we're disrespecting these bearish gaps to the left of us and respecting these newly formed bullish gaps. So that's just very surface level analysis. That's a habit you guys should all get used to, just seeing what PD arrays are being respected and what are being disrespected. So obviously price hasn't been too volatile, therefore like the hourly and 4-hour chart don't have like, lots of fair value gaps to work with, as you can see. But the 30 minutes a good indicator here of what the potential next draw on liquidity could be. However, I was, after 10 a.m. dropped, I was leaning bearish. Why? Because we had swept London highs, and I was thinking, maybe we could go down to London lows. And then 10 a.m., what happened is that 10 a.m. opened a little bit higher. Oh, sorry. No, vice versa. 10 a.m. opened lower here. We had 10 a.m. news, but it opened lower. I don't think there's actually news in 10 a.m. now that I look at it. No, there had to have been, because why would I wait till 10 a.m. then? A little bit sus, if you ask me. So let me double check here real quick. Forex Factory. There's a 2:30 p.m. No, it's what, 8:30 from here. Oh, so there was 8:30 news. Oh, right. This was a news week. So it practically created relatively equal lows with London, which was super sus. But then I guess we can break down of obviously 9:30. Not much was happening. We delivered higher. We went to the downside here. Couldn't get an inversion to the upside for potential trade towards the unfilled 4-hour. Although I was thinking that if we were going to resweep this high that took out London and get a reaction off of it, then we could get a nice PDI to the downside, right? So I thought we were going to present an amazing PDI towards the downside and potentially catch a trade just towards, this unfilled 15-minute, which was unfilled. Before that, we had this unfilled 15-minute below. We were accumulating. So I wanted to see 9:30 create a PDI here. It did manipulate lower, hit this 15-minute, delivered us higher. But I was thinking we could at least rebalance this range and then maybe go towards data lows. So that was really my thought process here, because we have relatively equal lows resting on data lows. We have this London highs sweep, and then the resweep of London highs after 9:30 opens up higher, resweeps this high. So I'm thinking if we get displacement back down here, we're probably not going to go to the unfilled 4-hour right now. We're first going to want to rebalance this range or hit data lows and then maybe run to that draw on liquidity. But right now I'm thinking, okay, we're taking out buy side and we're not displacing above it. And we have this nice accumulation pattern with this manipulation here, potential PDI to the downside. Unfortunately, there was no inversion to the downside here, so we didn't take any shorts. And so kind of just waited around until price did this shit, where we were edging the 4-hour high, and then 10 a.m., of course, opens low, and this is where things got really nice. So we were actually debating, we were trying to look for some sort of longs right here, I believe, or maybe we were just mentioning a forward test, because I wasn't trying to look for anything here. I wanted to see this 50-minute get hit, and we had opened up this tiny little 50-minute right here, right? So after that 50-minute opened up, I thought to myself, okay, if we could trade down towards the 50-minute and then get an inversion to the upside, we should have a nice setup towards this unfilled 4-hour, which we determined was a potential draw on liquidity. Sorry for all that mix up. I just kind of forgot how PA was looking on this day. But yeah, so there was like a 3 minute here, but no one was taking this fucking 3 minute because that shit's ass. And then I actually went to take a shit right here, so I missed this trade. Literally, it's like when someone tells you, the day you didn't show up to school, like fucking Beyonce performed. That's what this felt like. I left for 3 minutes. Like literally these three candles, boom, boom, and the next one. But I'll show you what happened here. So, not these three candles, the next ones. So here we got this 15-minute tap by about a tick. And on top of that, we also had an SMT with ES at those lows. So now we know that this 15-minute has been rebalanced, plus we have an SMT resting inside this 15-minute condition. You guys know that when I'm taking inversion setups, when Blake's taking an inversion setup, we're often referring to 5 and 15-minute conditions, which are just simply fair value gaps, which we want to see get traded to in order to determine if our drawn liquidity is right or where the next drawn liquidity is. So if we mark out this 15-minute bullish fair value gap here, you can see that price trades down to it. And if you watch the condition videos, you know that this leaves two scenarios. If we're going to displace below this 15-minute, then we're probably going to start going to sell side, then maybe rebalance this range, then maybe those relatively equal lows. But if we're going to respect this 15-minute, then chances are the next round liquidity is going to be higher, and it will be that unfilled 4-hour, which we had mentioned earlier. So price traded lower. We created an SMT inside this 15-minute, and we got a beautiful little 1-minute inversion towards the upside. A few people were skeptical of this because of the previous 3-minute in this leg, but I wouldn't even have been worried about this 3-minute. You could just break even at this intermediate high at the 3-minute, because this is a newly formed leg that we're trading, and we're no longer looking at this leg. This is the leg that sent us towards the 15-minute, and this is the leg that we're displacing from out of the 15-minute with that SMT. So this looks fucking great. I know a lot of people took this one, and so really this just comes down to understanding like the next internal liquidity and then also utilizing conditions. This is a perfect day to refer to understand conditions and help you find the next round liquidity. You learn to use those 5 and 15-minute fair value gaps to help you determine where the next round liquidity is. Sorry, I just said like 4 times. But yeah, we ended up getting this 1-minute inverse. You would go break even at this 3-minute intermediate high, but like luckily if you were in this, one candle ripper straight to unfold 4-hour, full TB there. You're not holding past this. This is a super sus to hold past, because not only do you have this like relatively equal high that got made nearly at this unfilled 4-hour, right? You also are now trading into a higher time frame bearish PD array, which could potentially be the start of a reversal. And so here, after this happens, now you're allowed to look for some shorts, but we're gonna need confirmation before we look for shorts. And so it took a while. We were just generating some liquidity for a minute, right? Nothing was really happening. We started chopping up again. And after we started chopping up, I'm telling people, okay, this looks like we're most likely going to set up a really good 11 a.m. reversal. Why? Well, for 2 reasons. We know that when AM is generating liquidity and leaving objectives behind, such as, this higher time frame rebalance, these data lows, etc., or if we're leaving unfilled gaps below, then those are most likely to be corrected during 11 a.m. And so now it's just like a matter of waiting for when time is right. We know now that we're inside this unfilled 30-minute. We had hit that unfilled 4-hour, and now we're trading inside this 30-minute bearish gap. And so now I'm utilizing this to see how this gets respected if 11 a.m. is going to present anything. And so I keep waiting to see if I get a PDI setup, but nope, we never break below and get an inversion to the downside, and we just keep generating more and more and more low resistance liquidity. So if you look at this now, we have all this LR generated, right? All these failure swings. None of these swings are breaking past the swing before. So that creates low resistance liquidity. And as we're going towards 11 a.m. open, if you pull up the 15-minute chart, what do you see? Unfilled 15-minute here, right? You can look at the 5-minute chart. We have an unfilled 5-minute down here. So we have plenty of imbalances in price right now that are most likely going to be corrected at some point, because this range is overextended and we've just been delivering higher with little to no retrace. That's a huge indicator that you are most likely going to have some sort of reversal, in this case like some sort of sell-off, that's simply going to correct these imbalances. So now that I know that 11 a.m. opened up higher, which is in my favor, if we look at the 11 a.m. candle here, we open up higher, and we have this accumulation zone right here. All I'm looking for now is an inversion to the downside. So this is actually a pretty interesting play here, because I believe the highest time frame here was this 5 minute. Yep. And I want to take 5 minute inversion shorts if we inverse this 5 minutes. So the trade will look like this, and we would TP, stop loss up here. We'll use the body, and we only use the wick if there's an SMT there. At least that's the way I trade. And then this is an unfilled 15-minute. This line right here. This would be TP1. You could TP2 here. You could full TP at any of these levels. Doesn't matter. Any of these are valid. Your most valid TP is going to be at this unfilled 15-minute because it is the highest time frame in balance within this bullish leg. So what happens is we don't get that 5-minute inversion. Well, we do get the 5-minute inversion, but look where we close. We close pretty far down below, which is honestly pretty annoying. But this didn't tell me, oh, I don't want to take the trade anymore, because in fact what we did was originally we were going to enter off of the inversion of this 5-minute and then break even here. Why would we break even here? Because that's a 5-minute intermediate low. That's a low sitting inside of a 5-minute bullish for value gap, and we know that there's a high chance of price rejecting that intermediate low and then bouncing back up. So we want to be break even there. In this case, we actually just managed to displace past this intermediate low, which gives me pretty damn good confidence that price wants to go lower. And we also inverse this 5-minute. So we inverse both of these 5 minutes, and I said, this is fucking valid. This displacement is actually in our favor. The trade would now look something like this. You can have about a 31 to 42 point stop. And then depending on how risky you want to be with this, ideally, I had my stop up here for 40 points. Some people put it closer for 30 points. And then TP at least a 1-to-1. So once again, our targets, unfilled 50-minute, unfilled 5-minute, MEC model. Rejecting off higher time from Peter Ray being the 30-minute. We have the 11 a.m. open high in our favor, telling us that we're most likely going to distribute lower for 11 a.m. and have a reversal instead of continuation higher. And so, we enter the trade here. And as you can see, I mean, you can utilize, I guess, kind of maybe like a 1-minute OB or something, but really your stop loss anywhere around here should be fine. And then I guess probably another question someone may have is like, what about these equal highs up here? I don't give a fuck about equal highs if they're back-to-back candles. I only care about equal highs if they're two separate swings. What's my battery percentage at? 13? All right, I'm showing. I only care about equal highs or equal lows if there are two separate swing highs or swing lows. What does that mean? If these equal highs looked like this, right? We made a high, and then we came down and made another high at the same level, then obviously I wouldn't want to put my stop loss at two separate swing highs that have created equal highs. That's kind of stupid because that's generated liquidity. These back-to-back candles, they're not that serious. That's some 2023 shit. So yeah, we entered here. Candle fucking ripped down. A lot of people took full close there. Beautiful. I full closed most of my accounts. I got a 1-to-1 on nearly all my accounts except like 1 or 2 because I had like a weird entry. So 2 of my accounts actually ended up getting break even, but most of my accounts took profits. And so this is a nice like 1-to-1 MEC model trade. And as you can see, what happens? Price rejects these imbalances, and then, I guess starts chopping or running higher, and we don't really distribute much lower past this. So that was Thursday. Now let's go into Friday, because Friday was a pretty damn good day, and I'll run you through my thought process for Friday. So Friday, actually, bro, I was trying to send you guys a fucking video in the morning pre-market with my analysis. No connection, nothing. I couldn't get shit out to you guys. It was really, really frustrating. But just simply going into Friday morning, I had a very simple analysis, right? Clearly, we've been bullish or respecting bullish PD rays, coming down towards these hourly fair value gaps, respecting them, and then delivering higher. But what do we have? Higher time frame equal lows here. However, we do have an SMT, which is kind of weird when you have like equal lows and an SMT because like you don't really know if that SMT is valid. But as you can see, ES actually did sweep this low, while NQ made equal lows. So my thought process here is, if we start rejecting the 0.5 of this range and start getting displacement lower in the higher time frame, we'll most likely want to run towards those equal lows. But internal liquidity first, then we'll focus on external liquidity. This just helps us build a narrative of price, whether we want to be taking longs or whether we want to be taking shorts. So now we know that this higher time frame leg has been rebalanced at 9:30. Then we're most likely going to be leaning bearish unless told otherwise. So I'll show you sort of my thought process here as well. This day we actually did have 10 a.m. news. So once again, just to repeat you what my higher time frame narrative was, I saw that the higher time frame had rebalanced that, higher time frame bearish leg. We had hit equilibrium. We had hit OT of the range. I was expecting rejection here lower. And what I wanted to see was Asia highs got taken and then take some shorts. Why? Because we were edging Asia highs. We had traded pretty close to it a couple times. Here it shows that we took it, but that's because I'm on the 30-minute chart. So we were edging it here. It's this blue line right here. And so I'm thinking, okay, if we can just sweep Asia highs, anything here could be fucking beautiful. Why? Unfilled 5-minute below. The drawn liquidity is so clear. We have an overextended range, huge buy side imbalance. Like, there's no reason we wouldn't correct at least towards this 5-minute if we sweep Asia and get displacement. So eventually, we sweep Asia highs, and really what I did here was just I took a fucking CISD off this, but there was also a 30-second right here. So if we're talking 30-second inversions, there's a 30-second right here, which you could have taken, and that was beautiful as well. I think it was like right here. So there's a 30-second, but of course you could also take the CIC entry, which would be the closure below this candle, which is what I did. So I entered off this candle. And then here, the way I would play this is, since this is a pretty wicky high, and I think ES hadn't taken Asia. Yeah, we had an SMT at Asia. I did put my stop loss all the way up here. I could have been a little bit risky with this, and like, I don't know, fuck that. You got to play it right. You got to respect PA. So I entered here, 30-second version, also 1 minute CIST. Break even at this 5-minute, and then you're simply looking for a 1-to-1. And so broke even right there, edged my my break even, and then ran towards that 1-to-1, right? Because we can't take profits unless we're at 1-to-1. So we hit this 5-minute, so now we know we have to get out this trade. I'm gonna be completely transparent here. I was being a little bit greedy with this trade, and I wanted to see it hit fucking EQ of the range, the 0.5, and we just ended up edging it, and I got broke even. So I didn't hit TP by one fucking tick, but whatever, it happens. So then what happens? We have 10 a.m. news. 10 a.m. creates equal highs, data highs, equal highs, and now I'm thinking, shit, this could actually be really good, because now we have an unfilled 15-minute right at the fucking 0.5. So I'm thinking, if we come down and hit this 15-minute, we'll use that as a condition. And if we get an inversion to the upside, I'm smacking longs towards data highs. No brainer. No fucking brainer. But we start just displacing lower. I thought we were about to get a gnarly PDI here. No PDI. Keep displacing lower, keep displacing lower, keep displacing lower, keep displacing lower. And let's see here. Finally, we take out this sell side. So we run all this sell side, which is, actually in our favor. This is just giving us better RR towards fucking those data highs if we want to take longs. But, bro, there was a 2-minute here, which I wanted to see as my entry. Little 2-minute IFEG, little small John, and that just ended up running towards that unfilled 5-minute, which would have been my break-even / first TP before going for data highs. So I didn't get in on this trade. You could have taken the 1-minute though, honestly. It was pretty fucking obvious. So what I do when I miss a trade like this, you don't have to bottom tick reversals. I tell you guys this all the time. You just want to catch a piece of the pie. So now we know price wants to deliver higher. We took out sell side. We left those data highs above. And there's a very high chance now that we're going to displace all the way back up and take those data highs. But how do we know that? Conditions. So let's go back to that. Now we want to use conditions. What's going to be our condition here? Well, we know that we have these 5 and 15-minute fair value gaps getting ran through. So we're most likely looking at those to see where the next round liquidity is. So if we see us displacing through these 5 and 15-minute fair value gaps, chances are we want to keep going higher, and we'll get a data highs trade. what happens is a bit interesting. Nothing. So what happens here is we like edge the inversion of the 5 minute. Let me get rid of this. We edge the inversion of this 15 minute, sorry. As you can see, we barely didn't inverse it by a couple ticks. But I wasn't like totally not convinced that longs were, I wasn't convinced that longs were bad just because we edged that 15 minute. And I'll tell you why. Because we had still left data highs above, and then we created this nice buy side like imbalance that we can trade into, right? So we have this this bullish leg here, and we have this 5 minute that we opened up, this bullish 5 minute. Now this is my new condition because I'm always looking at the current trading legs to determine my conditions. This is my new condition because this is the most recent 5/15 minute PD array that we've created, 5/15 minute for value gap, 5/15 minute condition that we have. So in my head, if we're going to respect this 5 minute and keep getting inversions to the upside, we're naturally going to just blow past that 15 minute. So what happens here is price hits that 5 minute, nice little tap of that 5 minute, and then, where is it? Right, fuck, I missed it. Right here. So we hit the 5 minute, and then we like kind of edge equilibrium, but that's not the point. Like, whatever. And then we get this 1 minute inversion towards the upside, and we have great displacement. This kind of reminds me of like the Thursday. Like, we have good displacement. The displacement is in our favor. Like, you want to see displacement with inversions because it should be momentum driven. It should be a fast shift in order flow that's going to deliver you towards your next round liquidity with speed. That's why inversions are so good and why the trades happen so fast. And so, holy shit, I'm at 5%. We get this 1 minute inversion. A lot of people were like sketched out because of this 4 minute, but that was like the most scuffed random fucking 4 minute I've ever seen, right? If we're looking solely at this leg, which is top to bottom here, there's only a 1 minute in this leg. If we look at the whole leg from here to here, sure, there's a 4 minute, but I'm not looking at the whole fucking leg. I'm looking at the current trading leg right here on the 1 minute. Just because this is the one that swept the intermediate low that hit the 5 minute. This low hit the 5 minute. Then we took out that low again and then got displacement higher. So I entered here. Break even is going to be at this this internal high. Although I don't even break even. I just let the shit run towards data highs. So we enter here. And stop loss down here. Why? There's no SMT at the low. You don't need to utilize the whole. We don't need to use the wick. And so I really like this trade, and we're getting great displacement. So I'm entering here. Drawn liquidity keeps getting confirmed that we want higher because we displace lower, sweep the sell side, get an inversion to the upside. We then start running through these 5 minutes. We're not really seeing much structure getting shifted towards the downside that would tell us we want to go lower. We're still being told we want to go higher because we create this 5 minute bullish or value gap in this leg. That ends up getting respected. We come down, trade to it, 1 minute inversion to the upside. And then we enter here, and then we still have data highs, which created equal highs above. And then, yeah, so my TP was here. So it ended up creating like triple equal highs, but there's like a SMT with ES. My TP was right there, so it just hit it regardless. But even if you didn't register your TP there, it would have hit your TP in the next 15 minutes. So this was an absolute beauty, and then it actually ended up running, I think, all these highs and shit. But yeah, fuck, my computer's dying. But this is like a nice little this is like a nice little trade recap on both these days, kind of going over how you utilize those conditions, how you determine drawn liquidity using those conditions, understanding higher time frame analysis, and all those things. So I just wanted to give you guys this, really, because these were two... Holy shit! Because these were two really good days, in my opinion, that shows you what a textbook, A+ setup looks like, and why you should trust displacement because it is in your favor, and all these things, these little piece of information that you should know, that shouldn't scare you from trades, but actually help you understand that it's in your favor. So I really try to make this fast. I'm sorry if I went fucking flying through this. My computer's about to die, but just a nice little 2 trade recap. I try to give you as much sauce within these 2 trades as possible. But yeah, overall great days, and I hope a lot of you guys banked. And if you didn't, it's chill. Another week is another week. Things are picking up the pace. We're getting more trades every day now, so we should be good, guys. Keep crushing it. Keep being fucking disciplined, and hopefully you keep catching bangers. So I'm sorry. This is all I could give you for today. Short but sweet, 25 minutes of sauce, going over some trades and all that good shit. But love you, boys. See ya.